Hi everyone, welcome back to BACKdigit.com. Today we are here with Doug Aldrich, one of the greatest guitarists in the whole international rock. Hi Doug.
Hi, Francesca. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, doing good. Just enjoying. Well, it's Monday now, so just had a nice weekend. How about you? You good?
Yeah, I'm great. I also had a nice weekend, nice weather also.
Good.
It's such a pleasure to have you here today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So we can start with the first question. So I wanted to ask you, where did you get your inspiration from for the new single Boom Boom, coming from your latest album, Looking for Trouble, coming the 30th of May? And how long did it take you to produce it?
Well, actually, the the whole recording for actually the whole album was pretty quick. It was like I think we spent about 9 days total, and it was great because we went to a place we'd never been before. We were actually there to write, and then we started to get into this blues album. But we were in a new place that we had never been before, and it was very inspiring. And so we were kind of just moving really fast, and I thought, maybe we would come back and revisit some stuff, but the producer Marty Fredrickson said it's cool like it is. It's just very raw, very just natural, and we're doing our own thing with each song. So we made them our own, different than the original in some ways. And Boom Boom is John Lee Hooker's song. I believe John Lee Hooker wrote it too. Uh, and we kind of hit that with a little bit of a different inspiration, a little bit of almost like John Fogerty's kind of, or Creedence Clearwater Revival, which is an older band from the '60s, and there was some stuff that they had done that was similar, and we just thought it was a cool vibe. So we basically approached that song with that kind of '60s um, rock and roll vibe, and
Right.
just a simple guitar lick, and simple lyric, and it was really it turned out really. It's just catchy and fun.
Yeah, that's great. That's very amazing to hear. And I love that you like the process and everything about it. So,
Yeah.
mhm.
No, I
Oh,
was just gonna say, yeah, the process was really natural, and just when we're playing together in a room, if we once we everything's set up to basically record, or at least capture our ideas, you know what I mean.
mhm.
And so once we kind of got everything feeling good, they hit record, and
That's
we
done.
just, yeah, we just got it.
That's great. That's great. And 9 days, it's a very short time, honestly.
It surely is, but when you're working together and you're in the room playing with the drums, and you play through it two or three times, you listen to your your parts that you've been playing, and then once you have it together and you feel like, hey, I got my part, you got yours, yeah, okay, cool, then you just record it, and it's live, and it's got a live feel to it, which is really nice. It's not overly thought or overly produced or anything.
Coming directly from the soul and the mind and the heart. That's very great.
Yeah.
All right, so considering also that Love That Never Be was originally for John Kirby, like the soloist, how was the process of the decision to make it become a The Dead Daisies song happen? How did it happen that it become a group song?
It was very natural. I don't, I think we started to write and had about 4 or 5 songs in the can. But in the can meaning like we had 4 or 5 songs that we had kind of very roughly demoed. And
Hmm,
this is at the same studio at the same time we were doing the blues thing, but it was just we had kind of, our priority was the rock stuff
of
that
course.
we were, and the blues thing was kind of, it got more serious later as we were going. But we had 4 or 5 maybe as I say, in the can. And then John said, what about that ballad that I had? He had presented that ballad before for the band, and we didn't really it we didn't really think of it, like we didn't really think about it. We weren't really doing a ballad every time, so sometimes it just didn't work out for the style of record we were doing. But this time, everybody listened to it again fresh, and everybody agreed that it was just a great song. And so John had a finished version of it that was really well produced, that he and Marty wrote together. And we kind of just stripped it down and hit it fresh as a rock band, perspective. So it's a little simpler. We did some editing and made it a little shorter, but it's just it's kind of like our version of of a nice ballad. And then some of the overdubs were really natural. We had this basic strummy rhythm part, and somebody suggested that I put a little melody, and I had kept hearing this melody with the slide. So we just worked it out, and that became a really good kind of a distinct part of the song.
Yeah, exactly. And I heard that you also gave a bold touch with the guitar to the song. Like, how did it make you feel? How did it make you feel to give this ballad rock song that bold touch with the guitar? Was that something
It
that
was it was nice because it put it like, as an example, the original way that John had presented the song was kind of like an acoustic ballad, And when we put the electric guitar and the drums on it, it kind of turned into more of a, it's Dead Daisies, but a little bit more of like a Bad Company feel, or something classic rock, or Free, like Free. It just very open and simple, but still powerful.
exactly? Yeah. So the song talks about a girl that realizes too late about what she had. Does it come from a real experience, like an internal experience that you guys had, or some of you had, or it's
Oh
just
man, I mean, I've been through that stuff so many times in my life, from when I was, from when I was a kid. Mostly, a lot of people go through that, both men and women. I think, maybe John was just writing in a perspective of, this is type of something that happens to a lot of people. You don't know what you got until it's gone, and
yeah,
they second guess it and stuff. But yeah, I've been through it myself many times where, when I was younger, like, and single, I'd meet a girl, and I'd be like, I really like this girl, almost too much.
I get it.
And then you end up, being too too tight, too close. So sometimes the girl will, in my situation, sometimes the girl was like, no, I just not feeling it, and you're feeling, really upset about that
Hmm.
and heartbroken. But it's part of life, to learn how to have a relationship be natural and kind of working properly. But yeah, in this dream scenario, the girl realizes that her man's gone. She ran him off, and I think she wants him back. Maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, but that's great that you guys experienced it and you wanted to, give a taste of what everybody's going through or everybody went through. So that's very nice
Yeah,
to connect.
mostly, these are natural social situations that happen to everybody, and I don't think. Okay, I don't know. Maybe John, I don't think anybody ever left John Corabi. I think he always, you know,
He always left. He was always the one leaving.
maybe who would want to leave John?
I mean, who would
Nobody.
leave any of you? Let's be honest.
I mean, I don't know. Everybody's got good sides and everybody's got things that they need to, make better. And so you stay humble, you work hard, and with a relationship, it takes you have to grow up, and for me personally, I kind of grew up really late. Like I moved away from home when I was young and I had to learn certain things the hard way, like that, like a relationship or a relationship with a band, a relationship with a partner. There's a balance that you gotta get, right? And once the balance is good, then everything's good. But you have to learn it, and sometimes you get your heart broken.
Exactly. I mean, life it's not predictable, so
yeah.
So, and you also sorry, you also chose to publish it the day of Valentine. Was it like a hidden message that you wanted to give, or was it just something that you wanted to do? Was it intentional with a message?
Of which song?
Love That'll Never Be.
I think it was just kind of a scenario that he wrote that people could relate to. I don't think it was a secret message or anything to it. I don't think
something you wanted to do.
Yeah, I think he's just something that, is for those, it's a lot of times I think probably somebody like John. See, I don't write lyrics, but I'll write chord progression. And if I do, and so that kind of maybe is where John felt like, this sounds like a little bit of a story song, maybe a little bit of a sad story,
Mm-hmm.
So the music, sometimes if the music comes first, sometimes the music makes you feel like what the lyrics should be.
Of course. Okay, thank you so much. So let's move forward to the new album. Let's talk about the new album. So after the success of Light 'Em Up, how do you expect Looking for Trouble to come forward in your career? Like, how do you expect it to go?
So it started off, as I said, very honest and innocently, that we were playing around with some blues music, and we decided, hey, this sounds pretty cool. Let's keep going. And somebody would just bring up a song. Somebody would just go, oh, let's try Born Under a Bad Sign. Okay, let's try it. And then we would maybe change it up a little bit or put something different. And then there are songs like Black Betty that we totally did in a new, fresh way. There was a version that was by Ram Jam that was like a really popular rock sort of. It was more of a heavy rock vibe on it, and we wanted to do something totally different than them, So we just hit it fresh our own way, and it turned into a little bit more of like a, like ZZ Top or something, It turned into a song kind of like that, and we thought it was sounding cool. It was fresh, and then we also would sometimes write a little bit more to the song so that it would work out how we wanted it to. With Crossroads, we added a little bit. With The Thrill Is Gone, with Black Betty, we added some little parts, just to make it work out how we wanted to. And it was just fun to hit each song individually and see what we could do.
Okay, all right. I saw that you also had some dates in Italy, 2 dates, the 8th and the 9th of March in Italy. How was the experience to coming back? How did you find the public in Italy? How was it coming back here?
Well, we always love Italy, and the Italian audience is super friendly, and also they love to hang and, go out and support rock and roll and party. and it was awesome. It had been a few minutes that we hadn't been to Italy,
Yeah.
so we were very, very happy to go and see some old friends, hang out for a few days. Can't wait to come back, so we want everyone to tell your local venue to get the Dead Daisies back.
Of course, I will tell everybody, and I hope that I'm gonna be there at least this time.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we missed you.
Thank you. We missed you too in Italy. Anyways, other than the tour and the single and everything else, what else can we expect from the Dead Daisies in the near future? New surprises?
This album comes out in a few days. So the Looking for Trouble album will be out. We're still kind of promoting Light 'Em Up album as well. We're still playing some of those new songs live. We're going to definitely be adding songs from the Looking for Trouble record and playing those on the upcoming tours. And then let's see, we're basically going to be in support of Looking for Trouble for the rest of the year, off and on, doing some dates here and there, and then we'll see what happens. We've always got new ideas that we're working on. Everyone's always, collecting new ideas and stuff, but there's no plan right now since we've got basically 2 albums to be promoting and stuff. That's our priority right now.
I mean, yeah, I kind of expected that as soon as you told me that the album was produced in 9 days with everybody having ideas. So that was very expectable, but I still wanted to ask you because, you never know what can you expect from a band like you.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't go into this. We actually, John Corabi came back to the band in 2023, and we were touring and doing stuff with John, and we were supporting kind of like a best of album that we had, and then we're going to get together and do some writing, and then all of a sudden we had, like I said, we had 4 or 5 song ideas, and then the ballad came, and then we were working on the blues stuff, and it was just like bam, bam, bam. So we didn't plan on it. So you're right. You never know what comes up. I still feel like with this band, there is not any visual representation of a show. Like maybe one day we should film a show that is, it could be a mix of all of our, songs. It could be a best of type of show, or it could be a blues based show where we kind of bring it down into a really intimate kind of blues setting and make a video, make a DVD. Well, DVDs aren't the same as they were a few years ago, but make a live video recording for people to check out.
That would be very, very great, honestly. That would be super interesting.
Yeah, I agree. It was like, some interviews and different things mixed in of what we were doing and why we were doing it. I think something like that could be cool. But you never know, like you said, with this band or a lot of bands, you never know what's next.
You never know, exactly.
Yeah.
Since the album is coming in a few days, the 30th of this month, where can we purchase it, or where can we buy it? Just where can we listen to it in general?
In general, you could probably, when it comes out, people could check it out and stream it. But also on the deaddaisies.com, you can order some vinyl. We're gonna have vinyl for everything, and it'll be really. It's nice to have the vinyl, because it sounds a little warmer, and it's also got a lot of info and pictures and stuff like that from the studio. And Looking for Trouble is basically, we're playing blues songs, and Looking for Trouble was basically like when we're talking about those blues artists that were down there in the South. Okay, let me tell you, we went in the South, in Alabama, in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. It's deep south of the U.S. And there's a lot of history there of people going close by to where we were in Mississippi to the crossroads.
Okay.
And they would go to the crossroads basically to pray to the devil to sell their soul. And this is true. This is true. They would go down there and they would pray and say, I will give you my soul, but I want fame and fortune. I want, notoriety and money. In
Wow.
return, I'll give you. And so a lot of blues artists went down there and then they wrote songs and they got famous. They wrote songs about, how the dogs of hell are chasing them and like, how their woman hurt them and left them and just different things. But they're always, when you go down to the crossroads, you're basically looking for trouble.
Wow.
So that's how we got the title.
It's amazing. That's an amazing story. Wow. I would have never guessed anything like that. That's very, very good.
Yeah, that's the old history. If you read about the blues, the old original blues artists like Robert Johnson and Willie Dixon, Muddy Waters, and all these guys, they lived a hard life. A lot of those guys, died by really dubious, very crazy, weird circumstances. Maybe a guy was famous. He was a guitar player. He was really popular, and then sometimes he would be interacting with a female, but the female had a husband, and the husband came and would stab the guitar player. That's basically
Wow.
kind of stuff would happen, or maybe like somebody would go. Some other artist would say, I don't like that guy. I'm going to poison his drink and put poison in, and there was all this crazy stuff that would happen back in those days.
Wow.
And then people died of, abuse of alcohol or drugs or whatever. But yeah, looking for trouble.
That's a great title, and that's a great, great story, to be honest. And Doug, we are honestly done. I really thank you so much for your time. That was great talking to you. I love hearing your stories and how you produced it, the new album. I really look forward to listening to the new album and seeing you again. Thank you so much for being on BACKdigit.com.
Thank you so much, Francesca. It was a really nice interview, and I really appreciate all your effort, what you're doing for all the music, keeping it alive in Italy so we could come back.
Oh, I hope to see you soon when you come back.
Absolutely. So have a wonderful day, and thanks. And everybody, please check out Looking for Trouble on the dell'uscita.com, or you can stream it, check it out. But maybe then you'll want to get a copy of the album. That would be
That
cool.
would be very great. That would be amazing.
And then also check out, we have a lot of social media on the different, Facebook and Instagram, all that stuff. And so there's always every time we get ready, we're going on tour in a couple weeks, and we have a whole bunch of, behind the scenes stuff that we do that we love to share with people. And, that's kind of something fun that people can check out and follow us on the road.
Exactly. That's great. I would love to follow you as soon as I go on social media. I hope to see you soon. And I really wish you the best of luck with the new album.
Thanks, Francesca. Really appreciate it. All the best to you, okay?
Thank you, you too.
Okay. Ciao.
Bye. Ciao.